Hello, everyone. Dr. Frankie Bashan here with you all with another really, really important topic to discuss today. But first, I want to apologize for my moving boxes behind me. I'm actually in the process of moving. My twins that are 18 are going off to college, and I'm downsizing. So here I am in the midst of a lot of transition. But I'm happy that I'm here with you doing what I consistently do every week, which is put out information. Hopefully it's helpful. And this is all from experiences as a clinical psychologist, working for over 2 decades, and also a matchmaker. I've been a matchmaker for most of my life, but the CEO of Little Gay Book Matchmaking for queer folks, women interested in women, and also Little Black Book Matchmaking. And that's the heterosexual division of my company. So you can visit littlegaybook.com and littleblackbookmatchmaking.com to learn more about matchmaking if you're single and wanting to mix it up a little bit and not just use the dating apps, and instead want to explore the possibility of working with a matchmaker. Which is something I highly, highly recommend. And if you want to follow me on social media, you can find me on Facebook by searching Dr. Frankie Bashan. You can also find me on TikTok and Instagram. So I definitely post a lot of my videos up there, but also dating events. I have something called Single Mingles, which are speed dating events. So another way to meet awesome single folks instead of using the apps, which I know for most of you is pretty terrible. So, and it's just getting worse over time. So definitely don't put all your eggs in one basket, try to mix it up. And let's not waste any more time. Let's jump into today's topic, which is an important one, but I often say all the things that I cover are important. So how do I know if they're the one? There's a conversation around new dates that many of us are very familiar with. We start seeing someone new and go on a few good or even great dates. We're thinking about whether this could be something serious, so we begin laying out the situation for our closest friends and our loved ones. We explained our impressions so far, the signals this person is giving off, and how we're interpreting them, and offer everything up for our friends to weigh in on whether this person is a good fit or not. They might question their compatibility, why they're single, how recently they got out of their most recent relationship, and their astrological sign. And they might also ask this question: do you think they could be the one? How do we begin to know how to answer that? Or should we answer it at all? And so here's my take on that. Unfortunately, you can't have proof of the one, and that's a good thing. There's an idea that percolates throughout various parts of our culture, and it takes the form of love at first sight. The idea that when you meet the right person, you'll just know, finding your soulmate, or that you're each waiting to meet the one. We tend to believe that once this happens, our love and dating life will become effortless. We may have other problems, but our relationship but that won't be a problem because there are no challenges once you've found the one. Maybe we even believe on some level that they'll fall out of thin air without us even having to look for them or go on dates. If you are having conflicts, mismatches, or relationships ending, it's because they just weren't with this magic person. That's okay. It just means she wasn't the one, our friends might say. If this idea sounds a little like a fairy tale when you lay it all out like this, that's because it actually is. While I can't prove or disprove the idea of soulmates, I know that I see a lot of people who are holding out for that perfect one. And more often than not, it's hurting them more than helping. The reality is, we have no way of knowing whether someone is the one for us. There isn't a pH test or a tarot card reading that will confirm it beyond the possibility of a doubt. And there's no magic set of dating steps to make sure that as long as you do everything correctly, you'll end up with the right person, and that person will be the one. Even if there was, I invite you to challenge your beliefs about whether or not that would actually be a good thing. Human connection is complex, ever-changing, and often beyond our ability to articulate or reason logically. It's not a math problem with a single right answer or the 1999 hit movie, The Matrix. The idea that we're all looking for the one ignores the beautiful depth and range of our relationships, even the ones that don't actually work. It can set us up for a dangerous manipulation and abuse and controlling partners, right? Often who manipulate their targets into putting up with poor treatment, even violence, by reinforcing the idea that you two are soulmates. They may hurt you sometimes, but no one will ever love you like they do. And their life won't be worth living without you. That's what they claim, at least. Even if this is hard, you have to make it work because there's no one else either of you could be with. The logic just goes on, right? The early stages of a toxic relationship can often feel euphoric, exactly as if we've finally found the one. So just keep that in mind. It can really set up these like really dangerous manipulation and kind of abusive scenarios when somebody plays into that idea. Even in less extreme scenarios, deciding that we're looking for the one and hoping that our current relationship is it can box us in with a zero-sum mentality. If we're unhappy with our partner or don't feel our relationship is living up to its full potential, it's harder to consider leaving or even advocating for a necessary change that could put the relationship at risk because we think this person is it for me. They're my person and I can't afford to lose this. It's not even worth trying. What does the one mean to you? So if we aren't meant to be searching for the one, what should we be searching for instead? Often when we seek out something in life, we get tunnel vision on the specific concrete goal or circumstance. We decide we want to become a top journalist at the New York Times, for example. In doing so, we inadvertently set ourselves up for pain when we're blocked from achieving that exact circumstance, often because of factors that were always going to be out of our control. No one can be good enough to guarantee a specific job offer at a specific paper, for example. In a practice like Danielle Laporte talks about with desire mapping, we can choose to instead refocus on the feeling or internal state that we're looking to fulfill by achieving this goal. Maybe in the example I just gave, you're really searching to feel accomplished, well respected, and secure in your field. That's the internal need, the idea of fulfilling a job, right? Having that be fulfilled. What does the idea of finding the one signify for you, emotionally and psychologically? When you think about the idea of being positive, that someone is your soulmate, what's the story you associate with that? Is it that the idea of security? Is it that you can be sure this person will never leave you? Is it perfect compatibility that you'll feel instantly at home with this person? Like you two already speak the same language with zero turnoffs? Is it that they would see you fully as a person without judgment or shame rather than chasing an unattainable ideal? We can cue into these emotional needs and use them to inform the green flags we're looking for in new dates. What does an ideal partner look like for you outside of permanence? For many people, the main attribute they associate with the hypothetical soulmate they want to find is actually stability. Outside of any particular characteristics or relationship skills, the main plus about this person is that things will magically always work out with them. The relationship lasts forever and they'll never leave or drive us away. As we talked about previously, while this is certainly desirable to many of us, if not most of us, it can also make us vulnerable. People can treat us very badly while also reassuring us they'll never leave. And if someone staying is our main priority, we'll put up with it. Part of letting go of the fantasy of meeting the one, someone we don't even have to think about or put work into because everything just falls into place as soon as we meet them, is doing the work of actively deciding what we want in a partner. We have to accept that we likely won't just know. And even if we do, it may very well be the wrong person. While it's healthy to check in with your intuition while dating, it needs to go hand in hand with deciding actively what you're looking for in a partner and using your critical thinking skills to assess whether someone matches those characteristics. So it might sound obvious, but a surprising number of us haven't done it. When we think about what we want, we share vague platitudes like someone I'm attracted to, or someone who wants a family, or someone who's funny with a good sense of humor. What specific qualities or relationship skills would someone have to have for you to be able to build the life you want with them? And how can you start to look for them in other people? I hope you found this helpful. And I hope the main takeaway is that you're not out there searching for the one, because ultimately there is not a perfect human, right? We all are flawed. We all have ways in which we need to continue to work on ourselves. And it's important to be realistic. And yeah, it's a major red flag when somebody's like, we are perfect together. This is so perfect. And you're thinking to yourself, well, actually, there are some ways in which we're not so perfect together, but right, you want to look at the whole picture. And just be cautious when somebody's kind of telling you something that's not matching up to your personal experience as well. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll be here next week with another awesome topic. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Please comment, like, share, all that good stuff so I can continue to reach more and more people. And thanks for all your support. Kisses, hugs, and I hope you have an awesome rest of your week. Take care.